Welcome back to the Wizard Weekly, where we talk about everything in gaming. It's yet another day and yet another Nintendo victim, at least in the sense of being a victim of being too bold for your own good. Because a couple of months ago, James Williams, who goes by the code name of Archbox on the internet, he was one of the lead moderators of a Switch pirate subreddit called Switch Pirates, which I've never heard of, and I'm sure that nobody watching this video has ever heard of. Don't make any sudden movements, they are watching. And in the age of Nintendo just going after everybody, like I just talked about how Nintendo was going after that games guru, I forget his name, but the person that was openly streaming games that he pirated, you know, weeks earlier of their release. Even before that, I talked about Ryan Daly, who's the crazy guy who's gonna defend himself against Nintendo in the courtroom by himself, you know. That's gonna go well, I'm sure. And we all know about Power Word. Like, Nintendo's just been shitting on everyone in the courtroom for years now, and it's really reaching a high point in 2024. And we got to dial it back to this earlier case that we saw back in March, when they sent a cease and desist letter to Williams for obviously being a pillar for hosting this, you know, corner of the internet to where people are obviously getting pirated games that are made by Nintendo. And after months of apparently drawing this out, Williams, or Archbox, I'm just gonna call him for the rest of the video, he has just been ducking Nintendo, as according to these court documents that were recently published, to which they unfortunately concluded that the case is going to reach a default. And I had no idea what this word even meant before, you know, in the court of law sense before this whole thing. But apparently a default is when the defendant doesn't comply or takes any actions on defending themselves or finding defense for themselves or has any like real defense for themselves in their testimony. Then the plaintiff just gets, you know, what they want, which Nintendo basically, they want your whole fucking soul. They want your money. They would put you in jail, but I don't think this guy's going to face any jail time. Likely he's probably just going to get fined for the rest of his life. But I just found this whole thing really interesting because according to these court documents that were made public yesterday or the day before, it just shows the thoroughness that Nintendo goes through, or really any company that, you know, decides to pursue anyone going after, you know, piracy and all that shit on the internet. And I just hope that maybe this can inspire someone to maybe not go down this road and maybe see how serious it is. I know people probably already know this, you know, but just seeing the court documentation of all this shit happening, it's inspiring for all of the, you know, hopefully right reasons. Like here, before Nintendo decided to send the cease and desist letter back in March of this year, prior to 2024, the plaintiff determined that the individual acting under the pseudonym Archbox, you know, our main guy here, in connection with the infringing shops, likely lived around Phoenix, Arizona. They doxed my guy before this all even popped off. And then here on March 26th, Nintendo simultaneously sent Williams a cease and desist letter via FedEx priority overnight email shipping address. They paid a lot of money for that shit, because if you guys ever shipped a package or bought something off of Amazon or eBay, that overnight shipping is not a joke. That's not pertaining to the story. I just had to say that. And then Archbox emailed, you know, Nintendo's people saying that he would comply and cooperate with any demands or requests within his control, but denying any infringement of Nintendo's intellectual property. Now again, this is March. Now it kind of seems like Archbox, he tried to downplay the situation, or maybe even he was just hoping that Nintendo would just bat an eye to all this, because apparently between April 4th and May 10th of 2024, and even longer after that, they just had an exchange of emails, but he didn't do anything as far as like legal sense, getting like a lawyer or making a defense apparently. And then once Nintendo got the court's order, they finally specifically tracked down this guy and confirmed that he, you know, his residence of address, which I'm probably going to bleep out in this video because they have it like openly right here, even though you can find this shit on the internet. Like, you can go on Google and find this. And then this confirmation took place last month, to which Archbox, he's basically been silent for this entire time. But unfortunately, silence doesn't always mean that you have control of the situation, because it was confirmed on November 8th, according to in the court documents, that the case entered a default in this matter against defendant James C. Williams, aka Archbox, on the ground that the defendant has failed to plead or otherwise defend within the time prescribed by the federal rules of civil procedure. F. And I just want to reiterate, you know, this whole process is just, you know, a taste of what Nintendo does in all of their legal proceedings. Like, you know, this whole year plus project for them, probably even longer, depending on how long they knew about, you know, what Archbox was doing. I personally think that it paints a pretty picture of how passionate Nintendo is, and just, you know, extorting as much money out of these people as possible that are breaking the laws any minute. Moving on, AstroBot yesterday finally received its 5th and final level in its latest free DLC from last month in the Stellar Speedway Galaxy, and it is dubbed Rising Heat, to which you can obviously see that it's in this lava-based environment to which you have to navigate around all these stones and all the platforms and shit. Unfortunately, being bound to the monkey power-up for the entirety of the level, so that's kind of, if you know how to do it, you're good, but if not, the shit is annoying. Anyways, people have obviously been enjoying these speedrun DLC levels that they've been adding and whatnot, and obviously AstroBot is a game, most of its charm comes from it being a platform title that has really intuitive levels that takes advantage of the DualSense controller. But another part of its charm is the fact that they cultivate all of the different game IPs, mostly PlayStations, and have them in the form of cameo bots. And there's like over 100 of these bots in the game. I don't know the exact number, but obviously, as you can expect, more are going to be added. But in this latest update, once you reach the credits, you get the basic legally protections, to which they obviously credit the people that they're using these skins based off of, like how you can see here, Rise of the Ronin, Tecmo Games, Kojima Productions for those skins. And since the speedrun DLC first launched, we've had a bunch of credits on these credit scenes for skins that we have yet to see in the game, like these Rayman, Beyond Good and Evil, and Assassin's Creed Ubisoft credits that we have not seen any of these skins in the game yet so far. So that's obviously exciting for players that are fans of the Ubisoft games, or was fans of the Ubisoft games. But fans are excited because following the 5th additional level to this new DLC, at Team Asobi, they also credited Tomba Special Edition, copyrighted by 𝐂𝐻𝐾amp and published by Limited Run Games, in the section for the IPs at the end of the game. And I don't know, maybe I'm living under a rock, but I've never heard of Tomba Special Edition or any Tomba game for that matter. Apparently this is a platformer game from the 90s. I've seen here December 25th, 1997. Oh, I think it's actually a left to right type of game. Okay, so it's a left to right platformer. Okay, that's cool. I seen people getting hype about this, and I just felt left out because I never heard of this shit in my life. But yeah, like I've said before, Limited Run Games, this is a company that I get behind all the time because they're one of the few developers that make an effort to reach out to other developers to make a limited run, hence the name, of some sort of physical copy for any game, no matter if it's PC, console. As you can see here, the Tomba Special Edition for PC has sold out, long sold out. So I guess that we're going to be seeing some love shown to this game in PlayStation's current, baby as far as platforming games go. What's in my cart? What the hell? Oh, Yakuza. See, Limited Run, you're trying to get me to spend money I don't have, man. I forgot that was in here. Get that out of here before I make a decision I'm going to regret. But yeah, AstroBot is definitely one of the best games, of this year so far. And it's cool to see it showing love to all these other IPs, especially the ones that PlayStation, they refuse to make any new games of because they don't think it fits the portfolio of what people are wanting to play, like, the Killzone franchise, which I fucking love, but they don't love it. So yeah, really cool to see what they do with AstroBot in the future as far as these, skin DLCs. And moving on to something that you likely have not been able to escape before you even made it to this video, and now you can't escape it because I'm about to talk about it. This is an Xbox. If you somehow didn't already confuse it with being a fridge, because they have fridges that are shaped like this Xbox now. So Microsoft recently started their This is an Xbox campaign, to where they got it in these big bold fonts, this is an Xbox, where they show like all these things that aren't Xbox consoles, since you can basically play an Xbox anywhere. Like how you see they have an Asus ROG Ally there, even the mobile phone, in which they recently announced that they're going to be updating the Xbox App Store for you to be able to play on the go, with obviously cloud gaming and maybe even some games for the phone, and even adding their version of humor in it by showing like things like here, a bento box, just showing like what isn't an Xbox, because that's funny. Why aren't you laughing? Definitely shows, Microsoft embracing this new age that they've entered with Xbox in the past couple of years, with you being able to play it basically, anywhere. Their whole motto of gaming, like I've said in the past before, have as many people playing their games as possible. They don't care what you play on, what you have, what your budget is. They just want Xbox in your hands because, other than that, they don't got too much to offer, honestly, because console exclusives are almost a thing of the past nowadays with, everyone going to PC and shit. And, Xbox, they don't run their business in the best way, especially with all the developers that they have. So, their best bet is to have as many games as possible on as many platforms as possible. But this new marketing run, I think it's, it's cool. I don't mind it. I just see the things like, this is a cat box, to which they claim that this can't be an Xbox or something that you can play an Xbox on. And this, anyone that's in the Wizard community just looks at this shit like, dude, you say this isn't an Xbox, but one spell could prove you the fuck wrong. But it seems like, while this is all cool now, this whole marketing run might just get a little too annoying in the future, because, they're investing a lot into this whole campaign. Like, they have campaign visuals across San Francisco, Atlanta, Chicago, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, London, New York, and Berlin to highlight all the places that are Xbox. And you're just gonna be seeing these fucking green and black with green text posters everywhere. I mean, it's bad enough that every time that I open up my Amazon Fire Stick, one of the first ads that I see is, you can play your Xbox, or you can play Diablo 4, or you can play Black Ops, or whatever the fuck is on the cloud gaming shit. You can play that here. And it's like, damn, dude, I just turned on to watch fucking The Boys. Like, why am I looking at an Xbox ad? I'm not on my Xbox right now. I don't even have an Xbox. I play on PC, but still, they even partnered up with other brands to show what isn't an Xbox. Like, here, this is a pair of Crocs, so they're really just putting, they're going balls deep in all this. But at the end of the day, like I say, for anytime I talk about Xbox and their business strategies, I feel sad mostly for the people that grew up with Xbox and knew what it was as a gaming titan, as in a gaming exclusive, a fiend that it was, to which now the Xbox platform is just it's a gaming platform. It isn't a gaming that doesn't really make sense, but you know what I mean, like gaming division. Like, it's not its own like lane. It's just they're trying to get you to play it among with all the other games that you already have. But for everyone else, especially people that are on a budget nowadays, and the people that don't really care and just want to play games in the most convenient way possible, hey man, this is an Xbox. Hey, this is an Xbox. And lastly for today, GOG is one of the few game browsers that I feel like every PC gamers should have, along with obviously Steam and all the fucking other shit. But GOG as a game browser offers things that other companies are likely too afraid to have on their platforms, and that's the addition of having DRM free games and always being able to play your games no matter what. Like, none of their games are going to ever get taken offline, at least in their current way of business. You don't got to worry about a de novo or something like that where it hinders and it just lurks in the background, operating at the kernel level of your hardware, just making sure that you aren't doing something malicious to a game. Shit like that is very important in games, especially now when things are just getting taken off left and right and being hindered by all these external programs and shit. But GOG, their deal, their whole like company deal just got even better, because now they recently started a new preservation program to which they're going back and getting a lot of older games that have been lost to time, or just unplayable if you don't have the physical copy. And if you have the physical copy and it's like hindered, like I said, by DRM, you can't even activate the shit. They're trying to preserve as many games as possible on their PC launcher. Now, they released this trailer, and since then they've started the initiative to add all these old games to their preservation program over time. Now, what's really cool about this program is the fact that not only are they continually adding games, but they're using their own resources, like they claim here, to make sure that these games run on modern hardware and are compatible with some of the most insane resolutions out there, with those wide ass monitors that take up your entire peripheral. And I think that's really what makes this stand out against like other games. Like, obviously we see Xbox Game Pass, Nintendo obviously like porting all these older games and shit from the yesteryears, but to make it compatible with PC is such a freaking godsend thing to do. Like, dude, look, I gotta rant for a second. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a game that I really enjoyed watching people play when I was younger. And when I finally got a chance to play it about a year ago, when I bought the physical copy, the shit, it's stuck in a resolution on this computer specifically that even when I bought the game digitally on Steam, I have 8 hours on the Steam version, I cannot for the life of me change it. Like, obviously here, the reason that I got the flawless widescreen application is so that I could fix this, hopefully, and it did not fix. Like, I've installed patches from 2004, 2006. Like, I've been doing whatever I can to make that game work, or well, it works, but to get it full screen on my device, and it just does not work. And it got to the point where I just can't even finish the game because playing it in a windowed mode, it's not even in like a window, like, you know, you see the window at the top like here with these tabs. It's like the screen, do you see this blue screen? It's like that size. That's so annoying, dude. So seeing GOG not only preserve, but, you know, also take the time to make sure that they're compatible with your device is a really, you know, I really like this freaking company, so it just made me love them even more. Now, that's not to say that, you know, what they're doing is working, because I have yet to play any of these, you know, GOG preserved games and, you know, see if it works on my hardware. So I could just be talking and maybe, you know, people have run into the same Knights of the Old Republic issue that I faced. But still, at least the effort is there, because the GOG preservation program, they're right now launching with 100 titles, you know, games like the original Diablo, what else? System Shock 2, Resident Evil 1 through 3, a bunch of other shit like you already saw in this trailer. They're making sure that the versions are the best and most complete available anywhere, including compatibility, manuals, and other bonus content. Let me speak about that. Like, they have the manuals and the DLCs. That's pretty cool. Access to GOG's tech support if you encounter technical issues with running the game. That is really sick, dude. And, you know, I haven't seen people talk about it too much, at least on, you know, my algorithm of YouTube and you know, social media. But dude, this is a really cool thing to do that I hope maybe even, you know, a company like Steam could, you know, invest some eggs into, even though they do a pretty good job of having like older titles, but they still delist a lot. And that's all I got for today, man. If you enjoyed, leave a like on the video, subscribe, and well, I will see you on the next one.